I actually have a couple updates. The first update is going forward, we'll be baking triaging support tickets into the squad engineering workflow in an effort to more effectively triage customer problems. It actually comes from the DevOps principle, you build it, you run it. I do want to clarify that this is not intended to add more responsibilities to the squads. There are actually quite a bit of benefits that come with it, and I'll talk about it in a minute. So with the help of Milo and the engineering management team advocating more for us, we're actually be having some time dedicated to maintain our code base and make our software more reliable. And to maximize engineering resources, I'll be working with support to properly escalate user issues. So that includes creating recordings and documentations on basic technical triaging to help them develop critical thinking and be more independent. So I shared Jason's authentication video with them because there has historically been confusion among the support team on auth token. So if you recorded something that you feel might be useful for support, please do share, and I will post the Neutrino link on Slack later. The goal is like, basically, if we equip them with that knowledge, not only they can help users resolve problems faster, they can also do their own research based on what we provide to keep building their triaging skills. Another thing is support will be using a template that includes everything the squads need, such as the steps to reproduce, the impact, possible monetary loss, description of the problem, what has been tried and researched. I'm also hoping that they will be able to provide the link to the logs that have already been filtered to the user and the incident time, so that when it does get escalated to the squads, you have everything you need to investigate. Now, to the benefits I mentioned earlier, the number one benefit is that it provides engineering growth and help us become more well-rounded developers, because it brings engineers closer to day-to-day customer feedback and real-time issues, and help us better understand our code and the operation of our software, which directly improves the quality of our service, because it means more thorough tests, incident prevention, quicker response time, higher customer satisfaction, and engineering productivity. The second benefit is that it'll free up SRE time from less gatekeeping to build better and more reliable logging and monitoring tools that help detect incidents sooner and shorten response time. The third benefit is that SWAT can then include SRE on application triaging, and SRE can collaborate with squads on improving logging and monitoring during the investigation, which not only promotes team collaboration, but also creates a positive cycle where our software is more stable and reliable. Squads can focus more on new features rather than bugs. Another update I have is I will only include engineers in monitoring channels from now on, and I'm encouraging SWAT engineers to initiate incidents. If you're the first one noticing there's like hundreds of alerts firing, so historically we have been ignoring those alerts because they are more of a nuisance than actual incidents. So with the aforementioned update, we also want to turn that around. And with the goal of building more reliable logging and monitoring tools, I'm pretty confident that that will also improve. So the alerts are actually something we respond to. The last update is a quick Datadog demo. I don't know if I can share screen. Oh, are you mute? Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, hold on. So I usually, when I test Datadog, I have, I locally serve the application, but I am not right now. So I'm just using what I have in the past week. So it's been painfully difficult to correlate logs between web apps and task workers because they run on different processes. But I was actually able to achieve that pretty easily with Datadog. So this is the Datadog logging platform, and I'll just be focusing on logging today. There's still a lot to be done. But here you can see that this is the Dash task worker, which runs on Kubernetes engine, and this is the backend, which runs on Cloud Run. And I was able to actually attach the trace ID to the logs. So when you filter the logs using that trace ID, it'll actually give you all the logs basically from hopefully from the front end. Like the browser logs, I'm still trying to figure out how to attach the trace ID to the browser logs. I'm actually having a pair session with Katie today. So yeah, I'm planning to talk about that. But currently I have the trace ID attached to task worker logs and the backend. So if I search for the same trace ID, the logs associated with that request just comes up in like one sort of like correlated thing. And then if I click one of the logs and click on the trace, it'll actually show you from the browser and the front end all the way to what's happening after the user click, basically after user click the button, send a request from the browser, what's happening, following that. I'm hoping that, one of the things I'm hoping to also achieve is that I will be able to attach those trace and span. It's like this performance, it's like a performance tool that you can attach to the logs where that shows you like how long it takes for a request to, how long does it take for a request. So this is like a second, a second, 1.39 seconds. And I'm hoping I'll be able to do that for the task worker logs as well and the browser logs. If I click to view trace details, and it basically gives you like a pretty awesome view of what's happening from the front end to the back end. There's still a lot to be done. Their search capability is a lot faster than Google logging query. But so far it has looked pretty promising. And yeah, I think that's about it for the demo. Like, I'm not going to go into detail on the implementation, but this looks pretty promising to kind of, once we have the user email or user ID, we can just look for the request trace ID and then enter that, search for that, and all the logs will be showing up. It's going to help triaging problems a lot. Yeah.
Great, thank you, Lou.